Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Tuesday and all today's guests, including Jason Davidson, standing by. Brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort, located oceanside in beautiful Parksville. The Bayside is one of Vancouver Island's premier getaway spots. Exciting additions to the Bayside include their newly opened Bay Cafe, sourcing delicious local products and seasonal cocktail list in the Bayside restaurant. I know, Rick, you can't wait to get there. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com or call 250-248-8333. And don't forget to mention Donnie and Dolly for 10% off your nightly room rate. Jason Davidson is a National Hockey League agent, a hockey agent with Thunder Creek Hockey. Among his clients, Ethan Bear of the Canucks, Noah Juulsen, Brady keeper Micheal Ferland, and he joins us now. Jason, thanks so much for doing this. How are you, sir?
Doing great, gentlemen. How are you guys today?
Very well. We'll get you to play a doctor, sort of, right off the bat. Ethan Bear hasn't played since February 25th. He took a puck to the face early in a game against Boston. What can you tell us about his health?
Well, he skated yesterday, guys. I hope we see him back in the lineup here by the weekend. I'm pretty sure they were worried about some dental work right off the hop there. Luckily, I believe he only lost one tooth, but they were concerned that his teeth were broke off at the root, still in his gums. So it was kind of a 24-hour period there where they weren't quite sure what was gonna happen with him. So he's just dealing with a little bit of the side effects of a concussion, and was on the bike here the last few days and got on the ice yesterday and had a real good skate. So looking forward to having him back.
Good to hear. He's a restricted free agent in the offseason. How would you describe your state of negotiations with the Canucks as we speak?
Well, I think we could agree that both sides want to get something done. We haven't spoke here probably since just prior to the All-Star break. And as everybody knows, that's kind of how these negotiations work once in a while. Two sides are engaged and somebody's not happy with the way it's going, and you just shut them down for a bit. But I'm sure that we'll visit again here shortly.
Jason, what would you like? Because we can all agree that Ethan Bear wanted to be a Vancouver Canuck in the summer. The Canucks talked to Carolina all summer long. What kind of deal are you looking for? Could it be 1 year, 2 or 3? Jace, would you like term? Everybody likes term and the security that comes with it.
Well, yeah, absolutely, Rick. I think it'll either be a 1 year or a 3 year deal. Ethan feels he has a lot to prove, and Ethan's willing to do a 1 year deal, a show me deal, where I would guess management really doesn't want to walk this right-handed D-man to free agency either. So that's our concern. You know, those free agent years aren't free, and they have to be compensated for. So. When we get back to the table, we'll discuss that, and I'd like to get Ethan playing here and get these last we got 18, 20 games in here where he can make a strong showing.
Jace, you also have Micheal Ferland. Can you tell us how Micheal is doing these days? And his contract is up with the Vancouver Canucks this season, but the contract's not the big deal. It's always been about Michael's health. And what can you tell us about Ferland and what he's up to these days?
Yeah, well, we all know how Micheal Ferland played. He played the game hard, and unfortunately that caught up to him. But you know what? Him and his wife Kaylee just had their third little girl in October. So Brinley, the oldest, is playing hockey, and Mike's helping coach, and he's also helping out with the prep team there in Brandon. I believe once a week he goes on the ice with them. So he's still engaged with the game, and he's just being a father and raising a family there in the Brandon area. So, yeah, everything's good with Mike. He still loves to be outdoors and do his fishing and hunting and whatnot. So, I don't think Mike has any complaints with how his life is going right now. And we keep in touch, try to talk every couple months and see how things are going. And my guys are my guys forever, so I keep in touch with most of them, whether they're playing or not.
Yeah, great stuff. You also got a guy from Abbotsford who plays in Abbotsford. He's here with the Canucks, paired up with Quinn Hughes and Noah Juulsen. What's happening there? Do you think the Canucks want Noah Juulsen back? He's an RFA as well, Jace.
I would, yeah. You know what? Had several conversations with Ryan Johnson there at the start of the year. We also have the captain there, Chase Waters, who's just a heart and soul kind of guy. You know, guys like Waters, Juulsen, and Peterson, who's now in Columbus because he was claimed off waivers. Those are blue collar guys. So, you know, when you talk about Juulsen and Peterson, every team needs that depth, and I think you're seeing that with Juulsen right now. He steps in, and he's been playing with Hughes a bit, and he plays the game hard. And there's an intensity there that you cannot teach. You either have it or you don't. And I think Noah's bringing that for the Canucks every night. So I would imagine, I know Ryan is all about the culture there. You got a good team in Abbotsford. I watched that team play in Calgary here mid-February, and you know, two really good teams. Calgary's farm team and Abbotsford. It was probably one of the better hockey games I've watched all year at any level, actually, and really impressed how those kids are playing in Abbotsford.
Well, what's the general impression, the general opinion, Jason, from what you know of the Canucks organization right now, which has obviously gone through some changes?
Well, you want my view, or do you want what you see on Twitter? Because
you're the guest. Let's go with you.
You know what? What I appreciate is the communication. Tremendous communication with that hockey club. Which I can't say with every team in the league. So I have zero issues. I like what's going on in Abbotsford with the guys. I know, you know, it wasn't ideal, Lane Peterson being put on waivers, but I understand how it works, and I think they wish they had that player still. And that's, you know, I think that's why they'll try and get something done with Noah Juulsen here. Maybe sooner than later as well. You need that depth, but you also need that for your young prospects. He's a superhuman being, which I think is very important. I always tell my guys, before you become a professional athlete, you have to be a professional person, and he checks all those boxes. And he can slide into that lineup like he has the last 4 games and you know, play some minutes. You know, anywhere 13, 16 minutes, you're going to get a lot of hustle out of Noah Juulsen. I think he's been leading the team in hits every game, or if he hasn't, they're missing a couple. He plays the game hard. I like the player a lot, and I know what RJ thinks of him as well.
I wonder if his game has gotten better with Luke Schenn as an example, Jason. Luke Schenn got better after a stint in the minors, came up, and we see what we see now on his way to Toronto. Hey, what's going to happen with the cap? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. I wish I had that crystal ball there, Donnie. But, you know, we're going to see a $1 million increase for sure. I think there's probably a lot of organizations out there would like to see that tripled or maybe even to $4 million. But I think we'll see some movement here for sure in the next 2 seasons. At the outside, the second season from now for sure. You know, teams can't hold on to their players, and it's the fan bases that suffer when you have to work around all these cap implications and this hard cap. And it's not just the Vancouver Canucks. There's teams all over the league that are dealing with it. So, I would have no problem with it being a soft cap or loosening those numbers up so these teams can keep some players and create some dynasties, or at least when you talk about rebuild, when you have no cap space, it's really difficult to rebuild. In fact, I wouldn't even use that word when you have no cap space, because you're not rebuilding. You're just, you know, you're in the trenches plowing through it is what you're doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a compliance buyout as well, at least one. But that's for the future. Next time you're on, we'll set aside half an hour, and you can tell us what Twitter thinks of the Canucks. Is that a deal, Jason?
Well, I try to stay off that stuff. You know, that's welcome to the Canadian hockey market. It's something, and it's the players know about it. Everybody knows about it because you can't get around it. But it is what it is, and it's passionate fans, and that's what they're the ones that buy the tickets and drive the revenue in this industry.
Yeah, you can't accuse them of not caring. Hey, Jason, thanks so much for this. We appreciate it.
Anytime, guys. Thank you.
You bet. Jason Davidson,